This is your man, Big B, Brian Hanley. Welcome back to Big B Daily, man. We appreciate everybody being in here today. We are live, as always, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central Time. Goon Squad, what is going on? What is going on with you? We appreciate you all being here. As always, again, we're watching over a multitude of platforms. On one platform in particular, if it keeps freezing up on you, remember to click on the link in the bio. There is a live link that's inside where you could come on over to another site and you will not get frozen up. We appreciate everybody over there. Again, thank you for dialing in with us today. As always, lot to cover. You know, Pat Riley is going off, just basically telling Jimmy Butler and anybody who will listen, shut up and start being available and play basketball. I like it. I like what he's having to say. The old man in the room is finally speaking up and he's mad. You know, then we got the T-Wolves. They are just physically whipping the Denver Nuggets. I mean, last night was brutal. I mean, game one was bad. Last night was ugly. Lord have mercy. And then Jalen Brunson, 4 games in a row, 40-plus points. But did the Knicks get handed that game last night? I think they kind of did. We'll cover all of that and more. I appreciate the Goon Squad for being here. Again, if you're in here and you want to support the show, you love what the show's doing, you like what we're doing, there's a multitude of ways that you can do that. Again, like, follow, subscribe, keep tapping the screen on one certain platform, and so we get as many people in here as possible. We appreciate that. And you could also send any super chats, gifts, all that kind of stuff, tips, all that information is the link in the bio. Please support the show if that's what you choose to do. We accept that. We thank everybody. Let's get to the show, man. I appreciate everybody being here. So, first thing, and again, just as a quick reminder, if you get, like I said, if you're on a certain platform, it's been freezing up on me for basically the last 2.5, 3 weeks. If you don't want that to happen, click on the link in the bio. There is a live link that you can click on, and you will not get frozen up on that platform that starts with the TT. So let's move on. Let's get this thing going, man. So Pat Riley, man, Pat Riley has basically come out and he's had enough. I think Pat Riley is done. First of all, he's old school. Pat Riley is old school. And he has had enough of players not being available, load management, not winning enough. I think Pat Riley's like, look, enough is enough. Get out here and play. You want all this money that's being thrown around, then you got to get out here and get on the court, and you got to be available. And I think that's what he's saying. I think he likes Jimmy Butler's mindset. I think he likes Jimmy Butler as a player. But I think he's a little fed up with the constant injuries. Now, look, injuries aren't anybody's fault. So I don't think Pat Riley's necessarily blaming anybody. But having said that, Jimmy Butler's got to start playing more basketball to be saying the stuff that he's saying, talking about, if I was playing, Boston would be out, which Miami wasn't even going to play. Well, I take that back. They were going to play, but he wasn't available, so it doesn't matter. They weren't out. And I know the Knicks would be out, which you weren't going to face the Knicks till the conference finals. So, but you weren't playing. And Pat Riley says, hey, man, you shouldn't be talking. If you're not participating in the games against Boston or participating in the games against the New York Knicks, shut your mouth. I love it. Pat Riley's had enough. And I know Jimmy Butler's going to be looking for an extension this offseason. And Pat Riley's like, hold on a second. We need to see some availability. We need to see some more availability before we give you, I think it's like he can sign a 2-year extension worth like up to $111 million. And I think he's like, let's see how this year plays out. Let's just see how this year plays out. Not to mention, Jimmy Butler, he's 35 years old, people. He's not a spring chicken. He's 35. He's been hurt. So what are we doing? What are we doing? I like the Heat, but the Heat got to have some other things. I mean, they just got to be available. I know the saying a couple of years back was always, can you win a title if Jimmy Butler is your best player? Well, so far the answer has been no. No, you can't. Now, has everybody been healthy at the same time? You know, you get to the finals, Tyler Hero's out, Jimmy Butler goes out, Bam Adebayo's out. You know, they just haven't been healthy. At some point, maybe they need to look inward. Look at the staff. You know, what is the strength and conditioning? What are they doing? So, and that's a good point. But man, Jimmy Butler is a 2A. I agree. I like Jimmy Butler. I think Jimmy Butler's great, but I'm not sure you're winning a title if Jimmy Butler's your best player, man. There's certain guys that you're like, yeah, I like them, but wouldn't they be better if they were the secondary piece? Like, I don't know. You can say a 2A, more like a 1B. A 1B. If Jimmy Butler is playing with somebody else, can you win? Yeah, I think you can. But when he is the guy and they put so much on him, then it's like, okay, then what? You know? And I do think the Heat were decimated with injuries. I mean, I thought it was a brilliant trade when Miami got Terry Rozier. And he was playing well. Then he gets the neck injury and then he can't play anymore. So I'm like, well, there's that. That sucks. And then you got to move Tyler Hero to the point, and he is not a point guard. He's just not. And I know people are going to point to that game in Boston. He had 14 assists. That was a product of guys just making shots. That wasn't him creating all these opportunities for people. No, he was passing the ball and guys were making shots. There's a difference. So, and at 35, I'm just not sure Jimmy Butler's the guy. I don't know that he was ever the guy to win a title with, but at this age, with his availability, I would say Jimmy Butler is more. It is a good comment. Jimmy Butler is a 2 at this point. Yeah, 1B. That's what I think. I don't think that he's that guy. Because again, you don't know about his availability. How often is he going to be available? You know? What's he going to do? Now, my man Bill Meyer says he gets hurt at the wrong time. Yeah, he does. Now, it's not Kawhi hurt, where it's every single year. Kawhi's just got horrible knees. He just got horrible knees. Jimmy Butler continuously gets hurt at the wrong time, but I like what Pat Riley had to say. I know a lot of people aren't going to like it. I know a lot of people are going to take it the wrong way. I don't think you should. I think what Pat Riley is just saying, hey, man, we lost. And we lost because you weren't available. Don't talk to me or talk to people and telling me what could have been. You weren't available, so we got beat. Shut your mouth. You want to talk? I'm all for talking, but go out there and go play. Be available. And I like it. I like it. So, and again, I'm not sure that you blame guys for being injured. And I don't think that's what Pat Riley was doing. I think he's just saying, if you want to say something and want to be out front and center yapping, then you need to be available. You need to participate, you know. And he said, I wasn't sure if he was trolling. I like Pat Riley. Look, Pat Riley's that guy that he's accomplished so much. And he's like, I don't care. What are you going to do? Fire me? Fire me. I don't care. I've got enough money. You know, I've accomplished so much in this game. If you don't want me to be here, okay. But Mickey Harrison's not going to fire Pat Riley. He's not. Pat Riley knows exactly what he's doing. I mean, look at the Heat. It's not that the Heat doesn't have a good team. They just can't stay healthy. They got a good squad. Just can't stay healthy. So, we'll see. We'll see. But I just I like what Pat Riley said. I like his approach to it. I like him telling his star, enough is enough, man. Enough is enough. Good for Pat Riley. I wish more coaches had the backbone to do that. So I wish more people had the backbone. But let's move on, man. Let's move on. Let's get to these Timberwolves. Lord have mercy. Now, look, the first thing that I'm going to say, I'm a humble guy. I can admit when I was wrong. I said you can't trust the Timberwolves. I've been saying it basically since midseason. Get to the playoffs, the Timberwolves will fall apart. Yeah, they're playing good defense. Is that going to last? I didn't trust them. I can admit when I was wrong. I think more people that talk sports should be able to admit, just more people in general, just admit when you were wrong. I was wrong. Lord have mercy. Timberwolves just are putting the clamps on the Nuggets, and last night it got ugly. Last night it got ugly. Let's start at the top. Jokic. No Rudy Gobert. Doesn't matter. Nas Reed just says, look, I'm just as big as you. You can't just body me around and push me around. Neither one of us can jump, but my arms are long. I can defend you. And he defended him. And he goes, you're not quicker than me. So none of that stuff, that herky-jerk stuff is going to work. And he shut Jokic down. He shut him down. I mean, it was just an impressive performance on Jokic. Then let's go to Jamal Murray. I mean, Jamal, the defense that's being played by Jaden Daniels, and then the defense that is being played by Alexander Walker is absolutely incredible on Jamal Murray. And here's, before anybody says anything, I don't want to hear that Jamal Murray is hurt. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear the excuses that Jamal Murray is hurt. Okay? Number one, he was out there. That's number one. Number two, he shot 18 times. Somebody that's hurt, when's the last time you heard somebody, oh man, this guy, he's really hurt, is shooting 18 times in a game? Stop it. Stop it. I mean, he was hurt when he was hitting those game winners against the Lakers, and he was just fine. He was just fine. But it's that y'all saw it, that defense, they're swarming. He can't get free. He can't get open looks. He's forcing it. 3 for 18, Jamal Murray. Get out of here. Get out of here. Michael Porter Jr. Michael Porter Jr. is being slowed down by one of the slowest people in America, Kyle Anderson. Kyle Anderson, have y'all seen Kyle Anderson play? He just moves at his own pace, but it's so slow, but yet effective. Effective. And he's guard. Michael Porter Jr. can't do anything. Last night was just, Minnesota just said, we are better than you, and there is nothing you can do about it. It was ugly from the get-go. From the get-go, there was nothing anybody could do about it. So, and then Ant-Man just destroying them. Cat finally playing like a big guy. Wasn't just constantly standing out on the three-point line. He's decided, you know what? I got an advantage over Aaron Gordon. I got a little advantage here. I'm going to attack. I'm going to be that guy. And dominated the basketball game. The first half was a thing of beauty. It was a thing. What were they up? 26 at the half? What, the Nuggets had 39 points at the half? Lord have mercy. Ugly. Ugly. Anthony Edwards, the chosen one, says my man. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I said it yesterday. I think Ant-Man is next. I think he is. I think he is. But the one thing I want to say, we got to pump the brakes. Let the series get finished before we anoint anybody. Y'all know how I am. I'm not a prisoner of the moment type of person. I'll call it as I see it as it's going on. But in all actuality, if we're being honest, has the Timberwolves accomplished anything yet? Like, what have they accomplished as of now, other than winning 2 games in a 7-game series? They haven't accomplished anything yet. Let's not get ahead of ourselves. I'm not saying it's not going to happen. I'm not going to be that guy and say, oh, well, the Timberwolves aren't going to win. They're up 2 going home. I'm not saying that. All I'm saying is give some respect to the Nuggets. So give a little respect to the Nuggets and allow for them to make some adjustments. And maybe they can't. Maybe there's no adjustments to be made. So, question from Darren Howard. My question is Rudy really deserving of 4-time MVP? They didn't miss a beat, looked better on defense, actually. I don't know that I thought Rudy was the defensive player of the year to begin with, but I think he got help all year from how good his team was defensively. And sometimes those awards go to, well, let's classify who the best defender is. And let's respect Rudy. He's their best defender. He is. And so they give it to him. I don't know if he was the best of anybody, but okay. But no, they didn't miss him last night. I know that. They didn't miss him last night. The Nuggets looked like they didn't want to be there last night in some aspects. But damn, the T-Wolves looked like they were about to win the finals and give the middle finger to anyone in their way. The T-Wolves looked confident. The T-Wolves looked mature, poised. They just look like they're a team on a mission. Like they've been disrespected. Like I disrespected the T-Wolves all year. They look like, hey, Brian, F you. This is who we are. And if that's where they look at it, good for them. Good for them. Cat looked like a monster last night. He did. I got to give him his credit. You got to give Cat his credit. So you got to give the man his credit. He did his thing last night. He absolutely did his thing last night. So you got to give the man his credit. Got to give him his credit. So let's see. All said. So Ant said it. Cat stopped fouling. They could beat anybody. I mean, that's true. Cat did his thing. Not going to take that away from him last night. I'm not going to do that and disrespect him. The guy was doing his thing. Let me get set up here on this other site real quick. Boom, boom, boom. Hey, just as a reminder, man, to keep from getting frozen up on. Because, again, there's a certain platform that keeps messing with me. Just click on the live link in the bio and come on over, and you will not get frozen up on. That much I can assure you. So I apologize. Not a whole lot I can do about it. It is what it is. But if you don't want that to happen, don't want to be frozen up on, all you have to do is click on the live link and come on over. And anybody over on the other side will tell you it's better anyway. So please continue to do that. I apologize for what's happening, but I don't have a real say in the matter. So let's see here. My man Sideshow, them young guys play defense. Oh, my goodness. Let's just talk about that defense for a little second here. First of all, isn't it refreshing to see a team actually play defense? Isn't it refreshing to see the NBA refs play some defense, allow teams to play defense? Lord have mercy. The T-Wolves were out there just swarming, just playing defense, getting up on dribblers, not allowing people to go where they wanted. That's what's the problem with Jamal Murray. He's so frustrated. He's throwing heating pads out on the court. By the way, how he doesn't get suspended for a game, which he won't, but it's absolute nonsense. It's absolute nonsense that Jamal Murray, first of all, there wasn't even a tech called. But if he's not suspended for a game, then the NBA has, I mean, the credibility for them. But who's in charge of officiating and suspensions, whoever that is, you have no credibility. If that's me or you out there and we throw a cup on the court, they ban us from the arena for life. They literally would ban you for life. Jamal Murray throws a heating pad on the court and nothing. Got to be suspended a game. He has to. But let's not take that away from what he was just frustrated because the Timberwolves did not let him do anything, nothing that he wanted to do. They took him out of all of it. And I'm going to repeat this for people that may not have heard me earlier. I don't want to hear that Jamal Murray was hurt. I don't want to hear it. He took 18 shots in a basketball game. That's not usually what a guy that's hurt's doing, is out there shooting 18 times. So, oh, yeah, that's a good point. If that was Draymond who threw something on the court, it'd be all over ESPN. And for good reason. And for good reason. You know. But, yeah, it just don't take away from what the Timberwolves do. That defense that they are playing, to me, it's just refreshing. I know I'm not oh, man, you remember the defense? I just remember when they actually played defense in the NBA. When they were allowed to play defense, when the rules didn't say you couldn't guard anybody physically anymore, like they've done now. I love it. I love this style of basketball. The Nuggets, their perimeter is not ready for it. They're not physical. Michael Porter Jr., not physical. Jamal Murray, not physical. KCP, not a ball handler, definitely not physical. Timberwolves, young, athletic, physical, in your face. I'm going to respect the Nuggets and say they make an adjustment or two. But I don't know, man. Game 3. If the Nuggets don't win game 3, they're going to get swept. I'm going to tell you that right now. If the Nuggets don't win game 3, they're getting swept. Period. End of story. So that's just the way it is. I'm sorry. So fine him. Can't hand Wolves the series by suspending him. Braden, what, you can't throw things on the court because you're frustrated. For instance, let's just say he throws the heating pad on the court and Karl Anthony Towns comes down, slips on it, sprains his ankle. Can't play for the next 15 days. Then what? A suspension? Are you only suspended him because of what happened because of the act? Or do you not suspend him? See, that's my thing. You can't overlook the act and say because somebody didn't get hurt, it's not that big of a deal. Because NBA guys are rich. So they don't care about the money. They don't care. I'll continue to do this behavior until there's real consequences. And finding me $50,000 is not a real consequence. Not for somebody like that. So you got to have real consequences. Here's the thing, and it's not that I'm mad or disagree with what you're saying, Braden. I get that part. But here's my thing. How about you keep your cool and don't throw things on the court? Because they don't give us fans a second chance. If I throw something on the court, they're not going to say, hey, man, here's a fine, but you can come back the next game. They're not going to do that. They're going to say, sorry, Big B, you are never allowed to come back to this arena for the rest of your life. That's what they're going to say. Hell, they might even say, hey, Big B, you're banned from NBA games for the rest of your life. That's our punishment as fans. But a player can do it and it's okay, get out of here. Same thing with Pat Beverly. You throw a ball in the stands, hit somebody in the face, they toss it back to you, and then you throw it even harder? How does that guy not get suspended? Now, granted, Pat Beverly's 35. He's probably not going to be on a roster next year. But how's he not suspended for a minimum half the season? Because, again, if a fan threw something and hit Patrick Beverly, he threw a cup of beer and hit Patrick Beverly, he would have been arrested and charged. So we got to keep it sane, man. Got to keep it sane. Yeah, and the Denver coach, Mike Malone, was out of control. Got up right in the ref. I thought he was going. Did y'all think he was going to punch the ref? He ran out on the court, got right in the ref's face. I thought he was going to punch him. And then the ref gave it right back to him. But why no technical? I don't know. And maybe that's what they're doing in the playoffs. They're giving some leeway. Maybe that's what's going on here. All I know, the Timberwolves are smacking around the Nuggets right now. I can admit when I was wrong. There ain't nothing wrong with that. Underestimating somebody, at least admit when you're wrong. I was wrong. The Timberwolves, up to this point, are the real deal. You got to give them their credit. They, up to this point, they are the real deal. And can they win it all? Sure, if they can win the series, absolutely they can win it all. Absolutely. So, throwing things at the refs, which he was doing, is wild. Yeah, Jamal Murray, that's crazy. Because that's what he was doing. He was throwing something at the ref. And let's just say it hit the ref. Does he get suspended then? Or, I mean, is it the act or is it the consequence? Or is it the result of the act is what I should say. Is it the act that should get you suspended or the result of the act? Because to me, it can never be the result of the act. It has to be the intention. Throwing something at the ref. Just wild. Just wild. Bring back the 90s playoffs. Hey, I'm for it, Sideshow. I'm for it. Get me back there. Let these teams play some defense and get after it. Which is going to bring us to our next topic here. But before we do that, just a quick reminder, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central Time, Big B Daily. Remember, tell your buddies, tell your friends on a certain platform. Continue to tap the screen. We want to try to get as many people as possible. But also on that same platform, it's been sticking on me. It's been freezing up on me. If you don't want that to happen, and I'll look right at you, just click on the link in the bio. Click on that link. There's a live link that will send you to another place, and you can watch it without any interruption. So that's all. That's where we're at with it on that platform. That's all I can do. I apologize. Not sure what's going on, but it keeps freezing up. But it is what it is. Let's move on. People. So the Knicks, first of all, Jalen Brunson, 4+ games of 40+ points in the playoffs. Tied a record by Michael Jordan. Bernard King, underrated Knick. Injuries derailed his career. Underrated scorer. But Jalen Brunson went off again. Fourth quarter was his. Indiana was game. When the Knicks get a hard-fought 4-point victory. But as much as we lauded the refs for keeping their cool and not being a part of the game in the Timberwolves and the Nuggets, the refs were 100% a part of the game when it came to the freaking Knicks and Pacers. Unbelievable how they interjected themselves into the outcome of this basketball game. First of all, let's talk about some of these NBA rules. Why are some plays reviewable and some plays aren't? And the most basic, a kicked ball. How the hell is a kicked ball not reviewable? Oh, well, we don't want to hold up the game. I mean, How hard is it to go to the clock, look at it? Oh, that was his hand. He didn't kick it. What? I mean, that'd take 5 seconds, 10 seconds at the most. You walk over. We're reviewing whether this is a kick ball. You put on the headset. You turn it on. Boom. Oh, yeah, he didn't kick it. It was his hand. Ball belongs to the Pacers. How hard is that? That's pretty easy. That's pretty easy. And yet, unbelievably, they didn't do. That's not a play that's even reviewable. It's insane to me how that's not reviewable. But it is what it is. What are you going to do? What are you going to do? But then, even before that, the moving screen by DiVincenzo. You remember back in the 80s, those 80s arcade games when the linemen are out there blocking like this? You know, they got their hands together, they got their elbows out, and they're blocking. Remember those football games? That's literally what he did on that play before the supposed kickball and was moving all around. That's about as egregious of a moving screen as you can get. I mean, that's literally the definition of a moving screen. That's the definition. He did that right out in open court for everybody to see. No call. They fight through the screen. Brunson makes a bad pass. It gets tipped. And then they call a kick. Unbelievable. Then they make a three. Take the lead. Go back down to the other end of the court. Evan Turner sets a screen. Not anywhere close. Now, I'll admit that he got there a little late. DiVincenzo looks like he got shot by a bazooka. And then the call is, well, he didn't allow him to turn. I'm like, why do I have to allow him to turn when I'm setting a screen? I don't have to allow. I come over and set a screen. It was just horrible for the refs to make that call with 12 seconds left in the game. And I know what some people are going to say. If it's a foul in the first quarter, it's got to be a foul in the last seconds. Not when you let the play before go. That's what I'll say. Because you're right. If it's a foul in the first quarter, there's got to be a foul at the end of the game. A foul is a foul. You're right. But not when you let literally the play before you let go something worse, way worse. You let that go, and then you call this because of a flop. Unbelievable. And then the game was over. I applaud Indiana for not doing more complaining after the game. They could have come out and just say, yeah, they robbed us. But I like what they said. You're not going to get any calls here. So it is what it is. Come out and win the next game. So it's crazy. It's crazy. I'm just how the refs got to know. And again, two different basketball games. You allow all this contact in one basketball game, and then in another basketball game in the same night, you don't allow any contact. That's why people get so frustrated. That's why players get so frustrated. That's why fans and coaches get so frustrated. The consistency is out of this world. So, out of this world. It was crazy. It's crazy. Evan Turner, look, if you want to say it was a foul, that's fine. That's fine. But then what DiVincenzo did, literally the play before, 30 feet away on the opposite end of the court, you have to call that too. But they didn't. So that's why people get so upset. That's why people get so upset with officiating. Inconsistent. Good point, Sideshow. That's why the West is a better conference. Yeah, because they let them play. Everything isn't a foul. Contact isn't a foul. Okay? Or should I say all contact isn't a foul. And if you went over and you looked at the play, hell, DiVincenzo didn't even fall back until after he was hit. He gets hit, He takes a quick little step. Oh, man, I got a flop. And then acted like he got shot with a bazooka. Kicked his arms out, kicked his feet out. Like literally he got shot with a damn bazooka. Unbelievable. But the reaction didn't come from the actual contact. The reaction came after the contact was initiated. And then, oh, yeah, I forgot I didn't flop. Just pathetic, man. Just pathetic. But that doesn't take away from what Jalen Brunson did. I don't want that to take away from what Jalen Brunson was doing out there on the court because he was killing them. He was absolutely killing them. The Pacers had no answer. He constantly just kept bodying up his guy and just physically beat him up. Like, you want to play this close to me? Okay. I'm going to body you up, and there's not going to be anything that you can do about it. And that's what he did. You know, what's his name? Nimhard? Yeah, he just wasn't big enough. He wasn't big enough. He just kept getting just physically knocked off of his spot. And like Jalen Brunson's like, I'm going to get to my spot. You're not big enough to stop me. What are you going to do about it? And the answer was nothing. The answer was nothing. So don't take that away. Don't let the refs ruin it. Jalen Brunson did his thing. He did his thing, man. It was a thing of beauty. But I would like to see the refs take a step back. You know they're going to come out with that stupid final 2-minute report. They're going to come out with that. You know, and first off, they're going to agree with the call because they already reviewed it. So they're going to agree with the call. Well, he didn't allow him to turn. Oh, get out of here, man. Just get out of here. Nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to hear that. It is what it is. It is what it is. But I don't want that to take away from Jalen Brunson, though, because Brunson, he was an absolute dog in that game, led his team to victory. He's been on an absolute tear, put the team on his back. Those 3 guys from Villanova, though, Brunson, DiVincenzo, and Hart, they're carrying the Knicks. They're carrying the Knicks. You know, good for them. Good for them. Ananube, OG, playing well too. Playing well. Good defender. Good defender. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens in that series. I don't know. I think Indiana's got a shot. If Indiana can get out and run like they were able to get out and run the other day, I still think Indiana's got a shot. I still believe Indiana has a shot. So, yeah, Capone, the Nuggets are in trouble. The Nuggets are in absolute trouble. So, again, man, just as a reminder, if you're on a platform that you're watching and it keeps freezing up, all you have to do is click on the link in the bio, and there is a live link that you can come over, and you won't miss a second of the show at all. Come on over, subscribe, all that good stuff. We appreciate it. Let's move on, man. What Q&A today? Q&A. What questions do you guys have? We're answering anything sports related. I know how you Goon Squad people can be. Sports related. Fire away with some questions, man. Fire away. First off, Indiana looked like they were going to win. Yeah, they did, Ty. Indiana looked like they were going to win the game, but they made both teams kind of made some mistakes down the stretch. Bad passes on both, just careless basketball on both sides. Careless basketball on both sides. But yeah, it absolutely looked like the Pacers had an opportunity. They did have an opportunity to win and kind of gagged it away. So I thought they were gonna end up taking it, but you know, that's what happens in sports, man. That's what happens. I'm still, I don't know if I'm shocked that Minnesota is blowing out the Nuggets at this point, but to me, it's a bloodbath. Last night was a bloodbath. The first game, Anthony Edwards did them in. Let's just call it what it is. Anthony Edwards is just too good, and the Nuggets don't have anybody to stop him. So that's what happened. Last night was just a bludgeoning. It was just a bludgeoning. That there was nothing that the Nuggets could do. Nothing that the Nuggets could do. And it got ugly. So my man Ty says, I'm from Minnesota. They need a team to make a championship for once. Yeah. When's the last time? The Twins? When was that? How long ago has that been? You know? And here's another question. We talked about this yesterday, and I think it's important to bring up again today. And I want everybody's feelings on it again today. Can Anthony Edwards be the face of the league playing in Minnesota? Can that happen? Because personally, I don't think so. I think it's tough. I think it's tough to be the face of the league out of Minnesota. There's only a couple of places I think you can be the face of the league. You know, you can be the face of the league if you're not a superstar. Like, you got to take Steph Curry, you got to take LeBron, because they're going to be the face of the league. I don't care where they play. You take those guys out of it. You know, they are icons in the game. So it doesn't matter where they play. But, like, you can be the face of the league in New York. You can be as the Knicks. I don't know if you can do that playing for Brooklyn. You can be the face of the league playing for the Lakers. You're not going to do that playing for the Clippers. You can be the face of the league in Miami or in Boston. But can you if you play in Oklahoma City? I don't think so. Can you if you're – now, Giannis is saying, hold on a second, Big B. Hold my beer. Because I think Giannis, for a couple of years, I don't know if he was the face of the league, but he was right there. And that was Milwaukee. But we'll see. Once these older guys shuffle out, the Steph Currys, the Kevin Durants, the LeBron Jameses of the world, once they officially shuffle out, who's going to take the mantle? Is it going to be Anthony Edwards? Is it going to be him? Shai Gilgeous-Alexander? Is it going to be him? Can he take the mantle? So it's going to be very interesting to see who takes the mantle and who is the next person up. Who's the next guy? Who is the next guy? I heard Kendrick Perkins talking yesterday, talking crazy, saying that he wanted LeBron to retire. I'm like, so a guy in his last game that he played that we saw this year was 30, 11, and 9. That guy has to retire? But, I mean, well, it's going to continuously take a hit to his legacy. Because my team isn't as good. And it's weird that it's only LeBron that we talk about his legacy takes a hit when his team doesn't win a title or go as far as we think. Michael Jordan and Kobe played for, let's just call it, shitty teams the last 3 years of their career. Shitty. That's what they played for. And nobody, and I mean nobody, says anything about them. About, well, you know, their team was terrible, so that takes a hit to their legacy. Nobody says that. So why are we saying it about LeBron? I don't understand that. And you can be a LeBron defender. You can be a LeBron hater. But at some point, don't we just have to be honest and tell the truth? Lord have mercy. Like, what is the reasoning behind it? I just don't understand that. That's the part I don't get. But it is what it is, man. It is what it is. So, my man Pat Cockrell, next face of the league aside, I love the small market teams are playing at high levels right now. I love it too. They have good, what should I say, management. They've got good front offices that are getting the job done, that are saying you don't have to have a super team. How about get out and go do your job? Go do some scouting. Go scout guys. Put together a team. Get you a superstar. Build around them. But continue to put very good players around them. That's why I like Oklahoma City. I'll be interested to see how they do in this series against the Mavs. I'll be interested. Because top to bottom, they got a better roster. They got a better roster than the Mavs. They do. Now, whether you think SGA is better than Luka, that could be up for debate. Not to mention Dallas is without Kleba, and you think, oh, well, Kleba's not that big a deal. Yeah, he is a big deal for the Mavs. Defender, can knock down open threes. Yeah, that's a big deal. And him not being there is trouble for the Mavs. It's going to be trouble. Because I don't know how you're going to replace what he can bring you on the offensive end with his size. I don't think they have another guy that can do what he does, but we'll see. My man Ruben, what's going on, man? I think Edwards and Tatum are up next as the face. Tatum's got to do it in the playoffs. We got to stop seeing Tatum disappear. That's my only thing about Tatum. It's personal. I get it. It's personal. But I got to stop seeing Tatum disappear in the playoffs. Okay? You got to stop. Go get it. Go get it. So, MJ and Kobe didn't proclaim themselves as the GOAT, though. First of all, Pat Cockrell, that doesn't matter. So who cares if he proclaims himself to be the best player? What difference does that make? What's that got to do with people talking about the end of their career? Absolutely nothing. So his talk has constantly elevated his expectations. So if I say that I'm good, and I'm playing good, then that means that my expectations and my team has to be good, because if they're not, then that takes a hit to my legacy. I think that's ridiculous. I mean, so if I say that I'm a good player, if I say that I'm the best player ever, but my team's not any good, we can't decipher between the two? We're not intelligent enough as a society? I probably know the answer to that, but I think that's crazy talk. I mean, the Lakers aren't, first of all, the Lakers are pretty good. They're just not as good as Denver. That's all. They're just not as good as Denver. That doesn't mean the Lakers stink. They just had a bad matchup in the first round and they got beat. But that wasn't because LeBron wasn't any good. Oh, and by the way, if LeBron retires, how good do we think the Lakers are going to be? You take LeBron off of this team, how good do you think the Lakers are? That would be the first thing. You know, I know everybody hates LeBron. I get it, but Lord have mercy. Now he's got to retire. Oh, okay. Shoo. Yeah, man. And that's all that it is, Ruben. You're exactly right. The longer he stays, the more people have to nitpick away at his legacy. That's all that it is. That's all that it is. They'll say anything, but it is what it is. So, oh well. Oh well. I don't even try to change people's minds. That's why I don't get into GOAT debates, because it gets so stupid so quickly. Because when you talk about either Jordan, you talk about, well, Jordan, if he played today, he'd be DeMar DeRozan. That's one of the stupidest statements in the history of mankind. LeBron James, oh, if he played in the 90s, he wouldn't be able to last. Really? A guy that's just as big as Karl Malone, but way more athletic, somehow wouldn't be able to play in the 80s or the 90s because of physicality. It's weird that we say LeBron's a baby, but you never see LeBron just get physicaled by somebody. You see him flopping. Don't get me wrong. You see him flopping around, and he does. But you never see LeBron just get physically manhandled by anybody. And I'd be willing to say the guys are a lot bigger and stronger and faster today than they were back then. Hell, back in the 80s and 90s, they had goons playing. Guys that served absolutely no purpose other than to be physical. Like a Rick Mahorn. Rick Mahorn wouldn't be in the G League today. Wouldn't be in the G League with his skills. That's who was a starter on a championship team back in the 80s. Crazy. Crazy. So, but it is what it is. The Lakers would be picking in the lottery without LeBron. You're exactly right. You're exactly right. So, but it is, I mean, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? I can't get in those debates anymore. I just refuse to do it. I refuse to do it. So, no, having LeBron talking about my man Pat Cockrell having the constant rotation of coaches is a knock on LeBron's legacy. So let me get this. Are we saying because LeBron and I'm a firm believer that LeBron is getting a lot of these coaches run out of there. So I don't want anybody to doubt that. I think LeBron is absolutely thinking that or is getting a lot of these coaches run out of there. I believe it wholeheartedly. But are we saying that he's not any good because of that, or he's not as good because of that? Because that's what legacy knocking is talking about. You're really not as good as what you could be. So him not wanting a certain coach somehow diminishes his ability. It's stuff like that. What's the knock? So are we saying LeBron's not any good? And, oh, by the way, name the good coach that LeBron's played for. Outside of Ty Lue, Eric Spoelstra, which at the time we didn't know Eric Spoelstra was good at all. You know, when LeBron was there, we thought it was all Dwayne Wade, LeBron, and Chris Bosh. We didn't think Eric Spoelstra was any good. But outside of that, who's this coach this great coach that LeBron has played for? And I'll just wait for the answer. I'm not saying he's right by getting all these coaches run off. But my question is, who's the good coach that he's played for? Like, who? That's all I'm saying. You know, you talk about Frank Vogel. How many times Frank Vogel been fired? So, no. You know, how many times has he been fired? He's not getting fired because he's doing a good job, except for at the Lakers. I'll admit that. He got fired from the Lakers a year after winning the title. It made absolutely no sense. So I'll give you credit there. And even then, he got fired when a team was hurt, which that's not the coach's fault. Are we saying the same thing about Giannis? I mean, Giannis just got 2 coaches fired in 6 months. Are we saying the same thing about him? One of those coaches won a title with Giannis. He got him fired. He got another coach fired. 30-13 is what he started out. That wasn't good enough for Giannis. But nobody says it about him. So it is what it is, man. I don't want to get into it. Because we can go down this LeBron road, and I'm not going down that rabbit hole. I don't want to do it. Because people will have something to say no matter what he does, good or bad. People are going to have something to say. There is no in between with that man. It's either you love him and you're unrealistic, or you hate him and you're unrealistic. Craziest thing I've ever seen. No in between. But that's okay. Sometimes it makes it fun. So, and I appreciate everybody being in here today too, man. It's a tough Tuesday. I appreciate the Goon Squad being in here. We're going to shut this one down for today. Thank you guys, man. Again, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. Central Time. We are live. Again, as always, I appreciate the Goon Squad. I appreciate you guys showing up, man. I know these are kind of the dog days. I know NBA is crazy. The talk about the NBA is crazy. I know the topics are getting a little whatever, but we're doing our best. If y'all want a topic, let me know. Bring it up in the Q&A section, and we will talk about it, man. So it is what it is. It's a race to the Olympics. It's a race to football season. We'll get there, man. We will get there. I appreciate everybody showing up. I'll see you guys tomorrow, man. Aloha.